Our top focus, in keeping with its surprise chief ministerial announcements, after Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh, the BJP announced first-time MLA Bhajanlal Sharma as the new Chief Minister of Rajasthan, while erstwhile Jaipur Royal Diya Kumari and SC Prem Bairwa have been appointed the Deputy Chief Ministers. This announcement brings to the end of the road all the Chief Ministers who were leaders during the Vajpayee-Advani time.
मैं इतना विश्वास दिलाना चाहता हूं कि राजस्थान की ये जो टीम है, राजस्थान के जो सभी हमारे विधायक हैं, निश्चित रूप से जो राजस्थान की अपेक्षा है हमसे, भारतीय जनता पार्टी से, हम माननीय हमारे यशस्वी प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में हम राजस्थान का पूरी तरह से सर्वांगीण विकास किसी भी क्षेत्र में हो, निश्चित रूप से हम पूरा करेंगे.
And just like Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan also got two deputy chief ministers, one of them being Diya Kumari. The erstwhile Royal of Jaipur, in fact, said in her first interview after becoming the deputy chief minister, she told NDTV that she is going to focus on women's safety in Rajasthan.
जो ये मुद्दा है महिला अत्याचार का, बहुत बड़ा मुद्दा है. कांग्रेस सरकार ने राजस्थान को खोखला करके रख दिया है, लेकिन अब हम सब मिलकर राजस्थान को फिर से एक विकसित प्रदेश बनाएंगे, एक सुरक्षित प्रदेश बनाएंगे. महिलाएं सुरक्षित होंगी, युवाओं को रोजगार मिलेगा, हर प्रकार से विकास का काम होगा. माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के नेतृत्व में हम सब मिलकर काम करेंगे.
Well, you know, Bhajanlal Sharma is an ordinary party worker. In fact, he's been a general secretary in the party for a long time now. People who work at the BJP office, including myself, when we go there in and out for, bites, or we go to find for press conferences, you often come across Bhajanlal. Very low profile, affable, always very pleasant, smiling, That's the kind of personality he is. I mean, he's like all the karyakartas that we meet so often, a very familiar face at the BJP office. And when he got the Sanganer seat, we all thought to ourselves that, okay, so they've put someone there because they want the incumbent MLA out. So obviously that's the reason. And we also thought that probably he's a placeholder, because remember, we've been discussing these names and there was a lot of speculation that Ashwini Vaishnav could actually be sent down to be the Chief Minister of Rajasthan, given his good record with governance. So everyone thought that, okay, this is a Brahmin seat, it's a safe seat. Probably Bhajanlal Sharma is a placeholder. I was absolutely flabbergasted when I got a message from the source, because I heard people say Bhajanlal and it was like, are you sure? And then I opened my phone and of course there was a message from a very trusted source. So I said, no, it's confirmed. But it was absolutely surprising, for a man who started, he's also with the, organization man, he's been with the ABVP, very close to the Sangh, very, very, his behavior is very simple. And, for someone who came from Bharatpur and then made Jaipur his home, it's really been a long journey. I mean, it's actually in that sense, I think what the party has done, what the BJP has done is, it's made an ordinary worker the chief minister. And so what it's done is it's galvanized the party cadre.
Shifting focus, and the new Congress government in Telangana says they are shocked at the state of finances in the 9.5 years of BRS rule in the state. NDTV's Uma Sudhir met with Senior Minister of the state, Uttam Kumar Reddy, who's done a review of the irrigation and the civil supplies department. He said a lot is amiss and that they are ordering a probe.
BRS government जो 10 साल रह चुके हैं, उन्होंने फाइनेंशियली स्टेट को बैंकरप्ट कर दिया है. ये मेडीगड्ढा बैरेज जो है, जो केसीआर गवर्नमेंट, जो पहले टीआरएस गवर्नमेंट थी, बहुत पूरी देश में, पूरी दुनिया में बोले थे इससे बढ़िया प्रोजेक्ट नहीं है. हम 10 साल से बोल रहे हैं इसमें पूरा करप्शन है, और हमने जो बोला था वो सच निकला. इलेक्शन से 1 महीने पहले मेडीगड्ढा बैरेज के 2 पिलर्स ग्राउंड में 2 मीटर अंदर सिंक हो गए. ये बहुत बड़ी चीज़ है, और मैं सोचता हूँ ये फाइनल डिसीजन चीफ मिनिस्टर साहब और कैबिनेट लेना पड़ेगा कि इतना बड़ा नुकसान जो स्टेट को हुआ है, किसी तो अकाउंटेबल हमें होल्ड करनी चाहिए.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi today took a swipe at the Congress party after the Income Tax Department seized over 350 crores in cash from various locations connected to Congress MP Dheeraj Sahu. Referring to the popular show Money Heist, the Prime Minister quoted a BJP post on social media that had an edited spoof video and said that the Congress has been looting the country for 70 years now. Congress has distanced itself from the cash seizure, saying the party is in no way connected with the businesses of Dheeraj Sahu and only he can explain the source of the cash. Meanwhile, a day after Amit Shah blamed country's first Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru for the Kashmir problem, Congress MP Rahul Gandhi said that the Home Minister has the habit of rewriting history. Hours after the Supreme Court backed the centre's move to scrap, backed the move of abrogation of Article 370, Amit Shah blamed Jawaharlal Nehru for two major blunders, declaring a ceasefire during war with Pakistan and taking the issue to the United Nations.
नेहरू ने मतलब अपनी लाइफ दे दी, लाइफ दे दी हिंदुस्तान के लिए, सालों जेल में रहे। अमित शाह जी को शायद हिस्ट्री नहीं मालूम, वो तो मैं एक्सपेक्ट ही नहीं कर सकता हूं कि उनको हिस्ट्री मालूम, वो तो हिस्ट्री को रीराइट करते रहते हैं। ये पूरा का पूरा डिस्ट्रैक्ट करने का है। बेसिक इशू जाति जनगणना और जो भागीदारी है इस देश की, जो धन देश का है, वो किसके हाथों में जा रहा है, ये मेन इशू है। और इस इशू को ये लोग डिस्कस नहीं करना चाहते, इससे डरते हैं, इससे भागते हैं।
Meanwhile, this is what Amit Shah had said yesterday.
बहुत कुछ कहा है, अभी कहा गया नेहरू के कारण कश्मीर यहां है, नेहरू जी के न होते तो शायद ये बिल ही नहीं आता और कश्मीर होता ही नहीं। मैं आज कहना चाहता हूं कि जो आजादी के बाद भारत की रचना को जानते हैं उनको मालूम होगा हैदराबाद में इससे भी बड़ा प्रॉब्लम हुआ था। क्या जवाहरलाल जी गए थे? क्या जूनागढ़ में क्या जवाहरलाल नेहरू गए थे? हैदराबाद में जवाहरलाल नेहरू गए थे? लक्षद्वीप में जवाहरलाल नेहरू गए थे? जोधपुर में जवाहरलाल नेहरू गए थे? जवाहरलाल नेहरू एक ही जगह काम देखते थे, जम्मू कश्मीर में, जिसको आधा छोड़कर आ गए।
Now, the centre has widened the ambit of terror in the Bharat Nyaya Sanhita, meant to replace the old Indian Penal Code and other criminal laws. Now, as per this, the killing or kidnapping a government official is defined as an act of terror. In fact, fake currency trade, which threatens economic security of the country, is also being included within the ambit of Terror Act. Centres also added 2 more sections to fight crime against women in the new criminal bill.
Today, Centre has introduced 3 new bills to replace IPC, CRPC and also Indian Evidence Act. Let's start with IPC, the bill that will be replacing IPC, which is Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. And if you could look at that bill, at least 2 more sections have been added when compared to the previous BNS bill. So if you could see those 2 sections that have been added, one that deals with protecting the identity of sexual assault survivors. Even during court proceedings, there cannot be any publishing of the identity of the survivors, either in written form or any other form, without the court proceedings. That's first section that has been added. The second section is very much important. Though section 85 clearly gives, section 85 of BNS clearly gives an provision to punish husband or the in-laws of the woman for subjecting her to cruelty. This time the Centre has also defined what is cruelty, and in a very progressive way, Centre has also said cruelty does not just limit itself to physical cruelty, but also any damage to mental health of a woman can also be construed as cruelty. And that's where it's a very progressive step that Centre has taken in this particular bill. And also very importantly, if you could see the Terrorist Act that has again been defined in this particular bill under section 113, that's a far-reaching consequences that particular section alone has, because not just any threat or any threat to the security or integrity or sovereignty of India, but also even if there is any threat to the economic stability of the country, that can also be seen as a terrorist act. And where Centre has also defined it that using counterfeit currency in order to destabilize the economy can also be construed as a terrorist act. And also very importantly, if you could see Gargi in the same section, they have also said that if a person kidnaps a person and another person and try to threaten the government, let it be state government or central government, even that can also be construed as a terrorist act. And that's why terrorist act has been redefined in this particular bill.
News now from the national capital, and there was a huge fire reported at a building in Delhi. Thankfully, no one's been injured in the fire, which was reported at a house in Greater Kailash. Cops suspect short circuit.
कोई है अंदर या घर खाली है?
और दो मंजिला 3 मंजिला मकान है, यहाँ पर आग लगी हुई है। दमकल की 2 गाड़ियां मौके पर पहुंची हुई हैं और दोनों दमकल की गाड़ियां आग बुझाने की कोशिश यहां कर रही हैं। बताया जा रहा है कि अब से करीब आधे घंटे पहले यानी करीब 9:30 पौने 10 के आसपास शुरुआत में घर से धुआं निकलता दिखाई दिया था। जो पड़ोसी थे उनको धुएं की स्मेल आई और जब उन्होंने वो स्मेल की तो उसके बाद वो इस घर के आसपास आए। जो मकान मालिक हैं उनका नाम मोना बताया जा रहा है। हालांकि अच्छी बात यह है कि फिलहाल अभी कोई जनहानि नहीं है, सब सुरक्षित हैं, वहां से निकल गए थे। और अब ये दमकल की टीम इस वक्त गेट खुलवा रही है, गेट खोलने की कोशिश की जाए ताकि अंदर जाके वहां पर आग बुझाई जा सके। दमकल की 2 गाड़ियां मौजूद हैं, दिल्ली पुलिस मौजूद है। ये गेट को तोड़ दिया गया है गेट को ताकि दमकल के कर्मी अंदर जा सकें और अंदर जाकर आग बुझा सके। आप देख रहे हैं अभी भी दूसरे मंजिल पर आपको साफ आपको आग दिखाई दे रही, लपटें दिखाई दे रही हैं। और अभी फिलहाल ये लपटें कुछ कम हुई हैं क्योंकि दमकल की एक गाड़ी ने वहां पर कुछ आग पर काबू पा लिया है। लेकिन अभी भी आप देख रहे हैं कि 0 फ्लोर पर और पहले फ्लोर पर वहां पर आपको आग की लपटें दिखाई दे रही हैं। और जो प्रत्यक्षदर्शी हैं उन्होंने, जो पड़ोसी हैं, उन्होंने बताया कि वहां एक जोरदार धमाका भी हुआ था। अब वो धमाका सिलेंडर की वजह से हुआ था या किसी और वजह से हुआ था उसका खुलासा भी नहीं हुआ है। लेकिन आप इधर भी आ सकते हैं और इधर देखेंगे आप कि खिड़की के जरिए से, गेट के जरिए से घर में घुसने की कोशिश है और ताकि आग पर काबू पाया जा सके। ये देखिए, ये B231 मकान है और B231 मकान में आग लगी हुई है। पुलिस मौके पर मौजूद है, दमकल की गाड़ी मौके पर मौजूद है।
Now, putting up wall posters and staging dharnas within 100 meters of academic buildings at Jawaharlal Nehru University can lead to a fine of up to 20,000 rupees or even expulsion, according to a new manual. JNU was known for its strong student community and taking political stands. Now, students have hit back, saying this is an attempt to stamp out dissent.
Once seen as a fertile ground of student protests, JNU administration has now clamped down hard, with new rules meant to curtail agitations and instill student discipline. As per the rules issued by the JNU Chief Proctor, any protest which is within a radius of 100 meters from an administrative or academic building will be penalized with a fine of 20,000 rupees and can also lead to expulsion. Protests around the houses of people living in JNU violating their privacy or threatening them will also draw a fine of 20,000 followed by expulsion. Printing and pasting anti-national posters will also attract a fine of up to 10,000 rupees. The new rules have left both the right and left-wing students riled up.
जेएनयू का इतिहास है धरने का, प्रोटेस्ट का इतिहास है। और अगर आज ये जो एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन है वो इस तरीके के रूल्स और रेगुलेशंस ला करके ये अधिकार हमसे छीनेगा तो हमें मालूम है कि जिंदल ओपी में कोई फर्क नहीं रह जाएगा जेएनयू से। हम वही यूनिवर्सिटी बन जाएंगे जहाँ पे स्टूडेंट्स प्रोटेस्ट नहीं करना चाह रहे हैं।
ये जो मेजर्स आया है इसमें आपको दे आर नथिंग बट टू स्टिफुल द स्टूडेंट एक्टिविज्म इन द कैंपस एंड टू सी द डेथ ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी।
JNU Vice Chancellor, however, maintains that she only strengthened existing rules.
पहला है, ये मैनुअल नया नहीं है।
अच्छा,
ये मैनुअल में आने से पहले ही इतने फाइन भर रहे थे।
अच्छा,
ये सिर्फ हमने लीगली साउंड कर दिया क्योंकि दिल्ली हाई कोर्ट से बच्चों दिल्ली हाई कोर्ट गई, जाने के बाद वहाँ दिल्ली हाई कोर्ट से हारने के बाद आकर यहाँ फाइन भी भरे थे, जितना अभी है वही है।
JNU has been the breeding ground of several top political personalities of the country. Will the new rules shackle the vibrant campus politics in JNU? Sharad Sharma's report for NDTV.
A horrific crime being reported from Belagavi in northern Karnataka. Even as the state legislature session was on in Belagavi, a woman was tied to a pole, stripped and beaten by a group in a village in the district. This after her son eloped with the girl he loved. While the police rescued the woman and arrested the accused, the incidents led to a series of strong reactions from and around the state. NDTV's Pratibha Raman has this report.
On the night of December 10, Ventimuri village of Belagavi in Karnataka witnessed a crime that has now sent shockwaves across the state. a 43-year-old woman was partially stripped and thrashed after being tied up to a pole for hours. Only because her son had reportedly eloped with a girl whose family unleashed their fury on the mother.
7 ಜನರನ್ನ ಅರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇನ್ನೂ ಕೂಡ 2-3 ಜನ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾಗಿಯಾಗಿದ್ರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಅವರನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಅರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಇದರ ಮೇಲೆ ಕಠಿಣವಾದ ಕ್ರಮವನ್ನ ಕಾನೂನು ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅದನ್ನ ಖಂಡಿತವಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ.
The girl's engagement was scheduled on December 11th, but she eloped with her lover who belongs to the same caste and village. The victim's husband is a truck driver and was away at the time of the incident. 7 people from the girl's family have been arrested, out of which 4 are women. The incident took place as the state assembly session was on in Belagavi, sparking off instant political reactions.
ತಾಯಿಯನ್ನ ಕಟ್ಟಾಕಿ ಗಂಟೆಗಟ್ಟಲೆ ಕಟ್ಟಾಕಿ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಘಟನೆ ನಡೆದಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ಇದು ಪುನರಾವರ್ತನೆ ಆಗಬಾರ್ದು. ರಾಜ್ಯ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಹಾಗೂ ಮಾನ್ಯ ಗೃಹ ಸಚಿವರಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ವಿನಂತಿಯನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ.
What's shocking is that the victim was assaulted by women as well. The ruling government has promised stringent action and the opposition has planned a protest questioning law and order in the state, triggering a political storm in the Legislative Assembly. With bureau inputs from Belagavi, Pratibha Raman for NDTV.
Welcome back. Now, the consumer price inflation in India increased to a 3-month high in November at 5.55% as compared with 4.87% in October. Inflation, however, remains within the central bank's tolerance band for the 3rd straight month. Retail inflation picked up, led by a rise in prices of vegetables, pulses and cereals. The rise in food prices, of course, puts pressure on household budgets. Now, an interview with former RBI Governor Raghuram Rajan, who's just released a new book where he focuses on the Indian economy. He says India is at a crossroads today. While the growth rate is good compared to other economies, it's too low for creating enough jobs.
You talk about a uniquely Indian way of development, which capitalizes on India's strengths. So what are the key elements for someone who's about to read this book and needs a flavor?
Well, what are India's strengths, right? First, of course, we have our democracy. Second, we have the fact that we speak the English language, about 12-13% of the economy. Third, we have a strength over the years that we've built in services. And so let's look at how we can develop this based on our strengths going forward. So one of the important facts we start out with is so many companies are coming to India to look for workers, to create jobs. Where are they doing this? They're not doing it as much in the traditional areas that we think of, for example, low-skilled manufacturing. They're doing it in hiring consultants to provide services directly for clients in the rest of the world. They're hiring, chip designers to do the chip design for their operations elsewhere. So India is attracting a new form of business, and we should capitalize on it. How do we do that? That's what the book is about.
Listening to both of you, reading the book, it comes down to one thing. You need to invest in human capital. So it's education, it's skilling, it's healthcare. Nobody's going to argue on that, right? But when you look at the evidence, the spends, the real prioritization, the gaps are visible, Raghu?
Absolutely. Look, we often cite this example because it reflects priorities. We are spending over $2 billion subsidizing a Micron factory in Gujarat. That's, about 16,500 crores. That's over 1/3 of our higher education budget. All the money that's been spent on IITs, on IIMs from the center. Of course, states have their own budget. So think about what that means. For 5,000 jobs when this factory is eventually at its peak, we're spending 1/3 of what could be used to create so many more educational institutions.
And with that, it's a wrap on this bulletin. Keep watching NDTV for more news and updates.